Hi, this is Rhonda Kuning, back again for another art journal page. Today I'm starting with a page I've lightly gessoed, and I've got some aqua green light and mixing that with some matte medium and varnish and just giving that a rough coat on the page. I'm not overly fussed about how neat that is, obviously, as you can tell. And while that's still wet, I'm spraying that with some water through the stencils and mopping it up with it's actually a dry wet wipe, and just blotting that so that I don't smudge the paint. And dried that completely, and a little bit of Indian yellow that I've diluted with water, and spreading that over roughly again, and spraying that again while that's still wet and blotting it again with another dry wet wipe. Dried that, well, mostly dried, and this is some cadmium red medium. I added a little bit of water just to help it spread because it's a thick bodied paint, and got rid of the excess on another art journal page. Gave that a quick dry, and I've got some white paper flowers that I've had for quite some time. Wanted to do a page about friends, and I was going to use a quote about friends being the flowers in the garden of life. Sprayed those with water, and because I was going to use a rhinestone in the centre, I used a black paint in the middle just to make those rhinestones pop. Eventually decided to put paint around the edges of those, and because I'd sprayed them with water, the paint soaked up really quite nicely onto the edges of those petals and brought in all the colours that I'd used already. And I glued those down with some diluted PVA, and some of those I stacked on top of each other and some of those I left singly. And I used glossy accents to attach the rhinestones. I used more than I needed to so that I have a nice shiny puddle to just make them pop in the middle there. I wasn't going to use the rhinestones on that small group of flowers. I put some more black paint in the centres, but then I changed my mind and put some rhinestones in the middle anyway. Added some archival ink around the edges for a bit of a frame, and this is the quote I ended up going with. It's Philippians 4 verse 1. It says, "Dear friends, I love you and long to see you. Please keep on being faithful to the Lord. You are my pride and joy." And at this stage I still was considering putting another quote in there about friends being the flowers in the garden of life, but then I decided that I would just fill up the space with the handwritten words rather than try and clutter it up with more words that I just couldn't link together in a logical fashion. I ended up using two different sort of pens for part of that handwriting, purely because I was having trouble getting them to work because the paint was still a bit damp and I had some glue left on the page. And this black paint is just artist quality acrylic paint that I've diluted down with some water and some gloss medium and put it in a bottle with a small nozzle on it. I used my pitt pen to go around the words that I had glued down. Really need to get another pitt pen because that one's really had it. I love the black paint, so I put some extra splodges here and there. And to bring up the white from the daisies, I went around the letters. I just did the tops of the painted words, and I went right around the letters that I'd handwritten in the white sigmo pen. It really makes it pop. You can't really see that quite so much on the video, but on the page it stands out. And some cross hatching here and there with a sigma pen, and signed it, and that's it. You could do the same thing and use up some of your paper flowers. I'm sure we've all got heaps hanging around. There's a close-up of how one of them looks. I'm quite pleased with that. I hope you liked it too, and if you want to see more, just subscribe, and I'll see you again next time. Bye.